You want to make your home smarter, but you don't necessarily know if you trust a smart smoke detector. Or perhaps you already purchased a smoke detector in your home, or even you have a wired smoke detector and you can't make it smart. What are you to do if you want to get notifications if an alarm goes off in your house and you're not home? Enter X-Sense Smart Smoke and CO Alarm Listener with Voice Alert Base Station Kit. Does that sound interesting to you? I'm Wanderer001. Let's get into it. To start things off, X-Sense did reach out to me and provide me with the listener kit for the purposes of doing this review. However, I have purchased on my own several other X-Sense products and have been very happy with them in the past, which is why I agreed to review this item. Starting off, let's actually take a quick look at what we get in the box here. Quick start guide, power supply, micro USB to USB for the base station power, and we also have a wall wart for the power supply. We have mounting hardware, batteries for all of our listening devices, as well as the mounting hardware you get is all in triplicate, our actual listening device. Again, we get 3 of those. The listening system is actually broken up into 2 parts, your base station and then your 3 listening devices. We're going to start with the base station first, as this is X-Sense's SWS51 base station. This base station is actually compatible with a lot of other devices that X-Sense sells. So this would actually be a good starter product if you were looking to smarten your home up, but not necessarily really buy smart home devices like cameras and switches. Maybe you just want to know if your smoke alarms go off. Or if you have a leak, X-Sense sells a device for that too that talks to this base station. The base station itself has a 100 decibel alarm built in. If we flip it over, we could see the speaker right there. You also have these 4 rubber feeties that raise the base station off of a surface. And I will say, despite this being plugged in all the time, it does not actually get hot like other base stations I've tested. We also have a silence button right there to quiet an alarm that we might hear if we're close enough to the base station. The X on the top here will light up blue when the device is powered. Coming over to one of our listener devices, which should be oriented thusly because it's mounted to your ceiling. But right here we have our speaker, we have our test button. This will flash red if there's a problem. We have our bottom portion here, which is how we mount this to a ceiling. Right there you can see the included batteries as well. The batteries should last you 2 years, can be up to 1,700 feet away from the base station and still send information to alert you. The tester unit itself does not actually make any sounds. It only flashes this red light. The base station will send you an audible tone, as well as you will receive a message on your smartphone that there may be a problem. You get a set of 3 of these, so you can have one on each floor of your home. Granted, it does need to be at least 6 inches away from a smoke detector to 100% work. So if you have a smoke detector in each bedroom, you might want to consider picking up one of these for each of your bedrooms as well. But at the very least, you can have one on each floor of your home. Because this is a smart system, there is a setup process. And by setup, we have to set up our base station and our listening devices. So let's take a quick look at what the setup was like. This will be setup of the X-Sense Smart Smoke and CO Alarm Listener with Voice Alert Base Station Kit. Now I have set up a base station previously with some of my other X-Sense devices, list over there in the corner. So I will show you what the setup of the base station was like from a previous install. First things first, you are going to need an X-Sense account so that you can utilize the X-Sense app. So I already have my account set up and we want to add our devices. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to the plus sign in the upper right hand corner, and then we're going to select what it is we want to add. So in our case, we want to first add a base station. We are doing the SWS50 because that's the one that looks like this as opposed to the more tall looking one. So we're going to hit that, and then there's a QR code on the bottom that we are going to scan. So we're going to do that off camera really quickly. And once you do that, you're given this information. So name, location, so home, or select room. So in this case, I'm going to create a room and we're just going to say that this is going to live in my living room. We have to create a home. So this is just going to be called home because, well, I only have one. It's asking for the location. So in my case, it's the United States, and then select room as needed. So we're going to say living room and create. And there we go. We have now successfully created the name and location. We're going to select next. Now we have to turn on the base station, which means we have to take and plug in our base station. So for the purposes of this, I'm quickly going to plug that in off camera and then power on the base station right here. So we'll give that a moment. You see it's flashing different colors right there. So once we're flashing this yellow color, you're going to press and hold that button on the back of it right there for 5 seconds. And just to confirm, all right, so it says yes, confirming that it's blinking yellow after pressing. We're going to select next, and I'm going to say only this time so it figures out my location. So make sure your Bluetooth is on because this is going to search for the device using Bluetooth. All right, and since I'm already on my IoT network, I'm going to quickly put in the password and then obfuscate that from view and select next. And once you do that, it kind of pops up and says, make sure that it's right, and then shows you in plain text the actual password name. I kind of wish it didn't do that, but yes, I'm going to confirm that that is correct.
Connecting to Wi-Fi.
Very loud, letting me know it's connecting to Wi-Fi. So it's
Wi-Fi connected.
That was really quick. So it says it's connected to Wi-Fi, even though the counter says there's still about 53 seconds. So it is connecting device. We see blue right there. So the blue should be good. And there we go, all finished. So we're going to say finish. All right, so we can silence an alarm by pressing the base station. We can have the ability to turn off the ability to silence an alarm. We're going to leave that on and select save. All right, and from here, you can connect other devices, which we kind of need to. Once the base station is set up, you're going to flip over your listening device and twist, and then just drop it like that. I want you to pay attention to that little groove right there because it has to sit back in here when you're locking things back up. So just be aware of where that little niche is. After this, you're going to take 2 of the AAA batteries that were provided, and then you're going to install them in the base
Hello from X-Sense
of the listener device. After which, we're going to come to our X-Sense app, which I have pre-installed on my phone right here. We're going to come up to the upper right-hand corner and select the plus sign, after which we come down to our smoke and listening devices, and then we're going to use the SAL100. You can tell by the front grooves there for the speaker system. So we're going to hit that, and then it says name, alarm listener, location. I'm going to select a location, and I'm going to say it's in the living room, and it's going to say, hey, you got to pick something else, even though I said it was living room, but it wants me to really pick it off of that other screen. After which I'm going to hit next, and then here you can see I should have waited to take the back cover off and add the batteries. I'm going to select next. Here it wants me to double tap quickly the test button so that it flashes blue.
ready to connect to base station.
It says very loudly, ready to connect. I'm going to hit next.
Ready to add a device. Connected to base station.
And just like that, it quickly added it to the base station. The base station is just slightly over there, and it worked perfectly fine. Next, we go to the setup and install. It's going to walk us through the proper placement of one of these listening devices so that we make sure that it adequately hears the smoke alarm when it's going off. And right now it's doing...
Press the smoke, carbon monoxide detectors, test silence button.
All right, this is going to be fun. I'm going to try and do this. I have one in my room here.
CO alarm detected.
There we go. Brought that in. Test successful.
The test is finished.
All right, so your listener has been installed, is hearing smoke, installation finished, and finish. And there we have a listener. So when it hears it, it definitely flashes red, letting you know that was setup. Keep in mind, as part of the setup, you're going to need to have this close enough to a smoke detector that you can test it. So after you get everything situated, you might want to mount this a little sooner than I did, rather than try and run and find a smoke detector to bring close to you. This is a smart device without being overly cumbersome, as many smart devices tend to be. With that, there is an accompanying application so that you can make subtle changes to notifications and sounds with your X-Sense listening device and base station. So let's take a look at what the X-Sense app can do. This is the application for the X-Sense Smart Smoke and CO Alarm Listener with voice alerts and base station. So with the base station, that means that we have 2 things that we can operate from the application. First, we're going to talk about up at the top here, this right-hand side. This is how you would add a new device. Right here, this lightning bolt with a shield. If we select this, this is going to open you up to the 24/7 monitoring. There is going to be a fee with this, but if you're looking for that, that's where that is. We also have location. I can switch between locations, such as here are all the things in my living room or basement, or I can have a device list as you see here. At the top, you see my base station, under which you see all of the connected devices that I have to this single base station. If I select the base station, that's going to bring me into the settings, but we can also access the settings via this little sprocket icon right here. Notice that there is the universal share icon. If I select this, this will allow me to share my base station via sending somebody an email and a alias for that specific user, and then default share. And what do I want? So I want to give them access to the base station, which would then give them access to all the devices underneath. Coming into my settings for our base station, we have the name. I can change the name of this if I wanted to. Location. I can select a different location for the base station. I have enable voice prompt. So that's if you want your base station to give you an audible vocal cue that something is wrong and is happening. Silence alarm, if I select this, it's going to show you, hey, if you're near your base station and one of the alarms in your house is going off and you want to silence it without having to pick up your phone, you can do so. If you have this toggle on, there's a little button on that base station. Hit save and you'll be able to silence from the base station itself. Wi-Fi network, that's how you situate the base station onto your network. Device information, lots of personal information in there, not going to show you that. Sharing device, again, another location that would allow you to share this device with somebody. And then help and feedback if you need help with the base station or want to give feedback to X-Sense on your experiences. Last is remove this device. I'm going to select back to bring us back to the main home page for X-Sense, and we're going to come down to our alarm listener. Notice its status says online. It shows us its connection to the base station, power, how much battery is left, and then our sprocket icon to bring us into the settings. Just like with the base station, I can either tap on the device image itself or the sprocket icon and be brought into actual settings for the device. From here, we get a larger image of its connectivity and battery status. Just like our base station, we can change the name, change the location. This will allow us to do a signal test, which is what we ran through when we set up this device. Here we can select base station alarm sound. We can change the volume of it as well as the tone. If you have several different types of X-Sense devices that connect to your base station, it's a good idea to set up a different tone for each of those device groups. Here we have notifications. Selecting this will allow me to select what I want to be notified of. So in my case, if an alarm is triggered, I want a notification. When it ends, or a silence, or a listener test, I don't necessarily want these, so I have these toggled off. I do want to be notified if there's low battery, and offline notification. If your device goes offline for whatever reason, it'll send a notification. You want to know that. I haven't experienced that myself, but with any smart device, especially one that's going to be as important as this, you want to be notified as quickly as you can if that device goes offline. Here we have device information, lots of sensitive information in there, not going to show you, but this is where you can check the firmware of your device if it needs to be updated. Next, we have help and feedback. Just like before, do you need help? Do you want to send feedback? And then remove this device. Coming back one more time to the main X-Sense homepage here, this was the home area of the X-Sense app. We have our history, which will show you a history of all of your devices, what has happened. So in this case, base station silenced, alarm off, alarm trigger, and you can sort through this. Notice it's for today. I can come in here and pick any day I want. Notice the dot. The dot indicates that there was activity that happened at that time. Last but not least, we have our accounts area right here. Selecting that at the top is going to be your linked email address. Here we have our manage my home. So from here, I can have multiple homes that I can manage. I have alarm sound. So alarm and then all the things that are attached to it. Protection plan if I wanted to. I can sign up for a free trial right there, add a friend's camera, help and feedback, and then about X-Sense. And that has been everything that we can do for the X-Sense Smart Smoke and CO Alarm Listener with base station. Setup was not terrible. The application, while very bare bones, is extraordinarily functional. But My big thing is, if I'm reviewing something and it is supposed to do one single thing, then I need to test to make sure that it actually does what it says. So let's take a look at the test I ran to see, does the listener actually send you a notification to your smartphone and the base station?
Warning. Smoke detected in living room. Evacuate.
Right there. There you go. How quickly from here to this hearing to sending to the base station to getting a notification. Works as advertised, as you would expect from something like this. Realistically, if you haven't thought about getting a smart smoke detector for yourself because of the hassle of setup, something like this could be exactly what you're looking for. And the fact that the X-Sense base station is compatible with other X-Sense devices, like their leak sensor, review over there in the corner, that makes a system like this well worth looking into, either for yourself or for a family member who does not exactly like technology as much as you might. This is a great way to ease them into having a smart home, or at the very least, letting you know if there's a problem that you need to be aware of. Because of that, I can strongly recommend the X-Sense Smart Smoke and CO Alarm Listener with Voice Alert Base Station Kit. I will have a link down in the description area below where you can pick this up for yourself. If you appreciate the time and effort that goes into making a video like this, make sure to hit that like button to help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here and want to be notified of my next review, hit that subscribe button. Still not sure if this is the right system for you? On screen now are other X-Sense product reviews that I've done to help you make an informed purchasing decision.